Hi again. This time, we think a little about the digital and data maturity of our own organization and the reasons why it should be thought about. Many of us are constantly being asked for various collaborative projects and ecosystems, looking for win-win-win solutions and advance of competitiveness of all involved. Many of us have been involved in projects like this in terms of data and digital opportunities as well. However, it should be noted in these projects that different companies really have different degrees of readiness to introduce, promote and take advantage of modern opportunities, in which case the participation of the projects is largely dependent on the participating companies at the same or almost the same level of readiness. A practical example of this is a situation where an ecosystem project focusing on data sharing wants to automatically share data between several different actors, which is used by each participating company. If the data maturity is very different between the participating companies, a situation can be reached where the data is needed from a company that does not have very high quality and productized interfaces for data exchange, or the data recipient does not have centralized and comprehensive data modeling in place. If these shortcomings and challenges are addressed during a joint project, many value propositions will not be fulfilled and time and resources will be spent on something else than generating value from the data. Here were just two examples of potential problems, but there can be a great deal of these challenges that can be assessed in advance through the maturity model and where to go. The maturity model also helps companies identify the level of their own operations, the maturity of competitors, and the general trend in their own industry. The data maturity model has been modified from the original capacity maturity model integration, CMMI, to meet data maturity requirements. We've developed a list of about 50 questions to assess a company's overall digital and data maturity, but this video isn't meant to go through all of them. Let's still take a few examples of what these mean and how to find the right level of maturity in the model. The model thus has 5 steps, the first of which initial describes a company that does not actually make any use of the data in the company. Some individual data blanks may be in use, and a few individuals in the company will highlight the data in discussions. The second phase is managed, where a responsible person has already been defined for the data and data issues have been taken into account in the company's strategy and management discussions. The middle step is defined, which is defined as a description of the company's data strategy, the appropriate executives hired, and the data-related needs described at the business and process level. The second top level is controlled, where the use of data is outsourced to the entire organization. Data is regularly included in decision-making, data utilization is measured at the organizational level, and like all other core business functions, data is managed according to management processes. The top level is optimized, where the company clearly gains a competitive advantage from the data. The company actively sells, buys, and shares the data. The data is seen as a key asset in the company throughout its life cycle, and the organization speaks naturally about the data. Let's now ask few questions. If the company does not have a person in the management team responsible for data utilization, can the company belong to the middle tier? Or if the company does not have an integration platform, does the company have the technical capability to collect and exchange data with everyone who needs it, so can the company be at the controlled level? If, on the other hand, the person in the company is not GDPR trained, can they talk about utilizing the data at a sufficiently reliable level in their own position, i.e., can the company belong to the defined level? Or last but not least, if a company doesn't have the tools to describe, productize, or model data, can they belong to the highest level? As you can see, considering data maturity is very valuable and its change can be well measured. For example, realizing your own maturity relative to your goal level or the general trend in the industry will help you understand where you are going. In the same way, you will also be able to assess what are the potential fast value generating partners or partners in your projects. Here's all this time. See you again.